Welcome back to Make It Mondays, and it's time for another blanket. This one is another log cabin blanket, and it's because I need another blanket to work on while I'm out and about. This time around I'm going to be using this yarn. So it is a fluffy baby yarn, and I was only able to get 6 skeins of it, so this is another round of yarn chicken. This was purchased, not donated, but it's still yarn chicken. I can't get more of it. It was on severe clearance when I found it. Depending on how fast the yarn works up will determine if I'm doing a 36 by 36 blanket or a 40 by 60 blanket. So let me get everything turned around. I'll show you the basics of where I am right now and how things are working as we go forward, and I'll be right back. So right now I am still on the very first block of this pattern. But how it's worked in general is slipping the first stitch and then knitting across for 24 rows and then binding off on the 25th row. And that number does include the cast on row, because after this first block, things are picked up and knit from there. Now, you heard me say 2 pretty different sizes and might be wondering how that's possible. Well, this center block is going to be 4 inches by 4 inches. And if I do just this and 1 ring around it, then and make 9 of those, I would be making a 36 by 36 inch blanket. If I end up having enough yarn to make effectively double that size as far as square inches knit, then I will be doing a second ring around it and only doing 6 squares. But I do have this white color, green, and then I also have a yellow. So I will be alternating between the 3 colors as I do the different rings around this. So I will be back in a bit to show you a little bit more of how this one is working up. So here is the last bind off of the blanket, and you'll notice I have a crochet hook in my hand. That's because this bind off is done through the edge of the previous square. So I insert my hook, I go through the loop that I'm binding off, yarn over, draw through, pull it off the needle, draw through the edge that it's through, and pull through the loop that was on the hook. So again, insert through the blanket along the edge stitch, the stitch that we're binding off, pull through, and pull up. So this can be done with knitting needles instead, and often I do. It's just this yarn has been a little bit of a beast to work with. Because it is fluffy, but it's not consistently fluffy, finding the stitches has been harder than expected and harder than I'm used to. So this became the easier way for me to do this particular bind off. In crochet terms, all I'm doing is a slip stitch, but for knitting this is a bind off, and it's a kind of standard bind off or the easy version. There are other ways to do knitted bind offs. I just tend not to show them on camera because I'm still learning them. Okay, but I'm going to do that all the way across. I am trying to pick up both legs of the stitch on this side, or on the existing blanket side so that this connection can be as strong as possible. Okay, and I will be back in just a minute to show the final blanket. And here is the finished blanket. So it's 2 squares wide, 3 squares long, and there's 3 different color ways that the squares were happened in. But that's it for this week. If you got this far, please consider liking and subscribing, and possibly even commenting if this is a style of blanket that you'd ever consider doing. And I will see you next time on Make It Mondays. Bye.